All right, I know, especially in 2020, desk setup videos are not a novel thing. There's nothing new about them, and I don't want to just repurpose and redo videos that have already been done within the desk setup realm. You have creators like Justin Say, MKBHD, and just these bigger YouTube channels that are creating content, customizing setups for different people, different purposes, and different lifestyles. And today I just wanted to show you my setup that I have for my new M1 MacBook Pro. And keep in mind, this doesn't have to be limited to just the M1 or a MacBook. It can be for anything, because ultimately I originally had it set up for my Razer Blade 15. But today I just wanted to show you guys what I was able to do on a pretty thin budget. Let's dive into it. I'm really excited about this one because when I was trying to think about what I wanted in a desk, I've really been spinning my wheels and I haven't been able to really hone it in and decide exactly what I wanted to use it for, where I wanted it to go, and all those other questions that really need to be answered before you can determine what your ideal is going to look like. Ultimately, when I decided desk placement, I didn't want it to limit space within my room. I wanted the desk to just go somewhere naturally where it wouldn't box things off, limit access to how much square footage I'm able to take advantage of within my room, and I wanted it to sit in a natural spot. So I chose to put it up against a wall. And I'm guessing for a lot of you, desk placement is probably the easiest decision you'll have to make within the desk setup process. You know, there's everything from what kind of desk to get to what devices to put, how you want your lighting to look, where you want fake plants or real plants to go, how you want to garnish the desk, and cable management. Don't even get me started with that. So desk placement, probably the easiest thing you'll have to figure out, because I'm guessing that you'll already know where you want to put yours. Starting with the lighting, I wanted it to be relatively minimalist. As you are probably aware of, minimalism has been really trending lately, thanks to people like Matt Diavella and other influencers who take a more minimalist lifestyle approach. And it's a great thing. However, I didn't want my desk to be too trendy. I wanted it to be something that, you know, if the trend dies out or if things change, that I can still be happy working at that desk space. And I think that's something very important for you to kind of figure out. Now, I'm sure my lighting taste will change over time, and I might not always love vintage bulbs and LED strip lights, but for my desk setup, those have been the staples of the lighting, because I have the LED strip along the edge of my desk to light up the back, and then the nice vintage bulb that I got from IKEA, just right on the corner of it to add some nice lighting. And I intentionally placed my PlayStation right in front of it because the lighting from the vintage bulb, and as many of you know who have experience with vintage bulbs, is pretty harsh. And unless you use like dimmer sliders, dimmer switches that cost, like $10 at Best Buy or Fleet Farm, it gets to be really bright and really intense on your eyes. So instead of getting a dimmer, I just put my PlayStation there to kind of block off some of that harshness. And I like how the light wraps around it when I'm sitting at my desk. Now for these LED lights, I got them at Fleet Farm. They were only $10 on sale. And for my desk, I only needed one strip. For a bigger desk or an L-shaped desk, you may need two. Now, the desk that I chose, it's not an IKEA desk. I have no clue where my dad got it from, but it's just my father's desk. I believe that he got it from his father. And I really wanted to use this video to show and prove that you can make a desk setup work with any desk that you have. I'm not the biggest fan of this desk being asymmetrical. There are cabinets that block off the middle of the desk, so I cannot sit there. I have to be on the far left side at all times, unless I don't want to be up against the desk. Nearly 100% of the time, I'm on the left side of the desk. So I had to make that work. I had to figure out what the best way to situate myself, my monitor, my laptop would be for that. And because of this limitation, I decided that I wanted to have two screens available at my disposal for things like video editing and typing up papers even. And that's where the compromise came in. Previously to my setup now, both screens were on either side of me. One was to the left of me, one was to the right of me, and that's fine for dual monitoring, but since I was editing off of my laptop, working off of my laptop, I don't have two monitors. My second monitor was my laptop screen, and it was naturally much smaller than the one that I have right here. I wanted to primarily look at my bigger monitor, and unfortunately that was off to the side more, so I had to kind of turn whenever I was using that, and because the Samsung monitor is my primary one, I wanted to figure out how I could center it in front of me at the left side of the desk and still have my MacBook accessible off more to the side. So what I decided to do was get a monitor stand from Amazon, pretty cheap, $55. I've seen some other YouTubers use and talk about it. I really like this monitor stand because it clamps to your desk and it has built-in cable management within it so that things can be a little bit more neat and organized, and you don't necessarily need to go out and purchase cable management in addition to what it comes with, because for me it does the trick. And so as you can see, my MacBook is off, basically floating over a space where it would be impossible to set it physically on the desk, and that solved the problem for me. Also, another added benefit is that I get more desk surface accessible to me because I don't have a laptop stand plus my monitor stand sitting actually on the desk. I have these things floating that I can put other stuff underneath the monitor, and it just looks a lot more clean to me. So overall, if you're content using a monitor stand right now, that's fine. I would say that there is a pretty big night and day difference between a desk monitor stand taking up so much surface area and having a kind of a clamp stand that swivels on arms, being able to free up that space. It does make a big difference. And then lastly about the stand, I'm gonna move on, don't worry. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I love how you can swivel it, you can move things around, tilt, angle, and it's much more freeing than a stand ever could be unless you got a really, really expensive, nice stand. So for 50 bucks, it even came with a laptop stand so that I could do that. Man, it's the perfect thing. Moving on, we have just a little IKEA plant, $5. And then next to that is the PlayStation 5. Now, any console you guys have, you could throw up on a desk. I wish it was a different color. Like, I'm sure the Xbox Series X would maybe go better with my desk setup because of the coloring. I'm not a big fan of the wood on black and white. I think in the future I might invest in a different desk, one that allows me center access, but also that can just play nicely with my current color palette. I've got some super cheap Amazon speakers. I know that if you are at all into audio or music listening, you would probably crucify me for having these and saying that they're usable. But for me, I'm completely fine with having them just sitting on my desk. Now, as for the mouse and keyboard, just simple. I've got the Apple keyboard. I don't know if it's the Magic keyboard because it doesn't have wireless capabilities, so it's a wired keyboard. And I mean, I don't love the wire being there because it's just one more wire that makes it look a little messier. So I would recommend getting a Bluetooth keyboard. And then in favor of going wireless, I have the Apple Magic Mouse 2. So it is a wireless mouse, and it's been perfectly fine for me. I've been using it for years. And then if you look underneath the desk, there are a lot of cables, a big power strip. So yes, I certainly could improve in the cable management field. However, cable management isn't something that I really feel a need to invest in at the time being. I don't really mind them underneath my desk as long as they're not like front and center. And I also have this footrest that I just got 25 bucks off of Amazon. And now the reason why I have a footrest is because your height positioning is and should be based on your desk height. And since my desk height can't be changed, I need to basically work around how tall my desk is. Ergonomically, the goal for your desk setup is to be able to sit with your shoulders comfortably down, not up, because that can add a lot of pressure. Being able to have your wrists to your elbow form a line parallel to the ground, and having a very close to 90-degree bend at the elbows, making sure that everything's at a nice angle. So keeping the upper arm straight and then the elbow having a perfect like 90-degree angle, and then your lower arm completely straight as you're typing, as you're working. And that is going to be the best for overall physical health. And the more you spend time at a desk, the more important it is to make sure that it's ergonomically set right for you. So yeah, just to reiterate on the footrest, basically my desk is a little bit higher that I can't lower my chair down. And then smack dab in the middle, I have a wireless charger for my iPhone. And then to finish it off with my desk chair, I just bought a chair off of Craigslist, and it was a $600 desk chair that I got for $125 off of Craigslist. So I would highly recommend when you're looking at chairs to not skimp and go for quality certainly, but maybe look on the used market because there are some people who don't have a need for nicer chairs and are willing to sell it at a cheaper price. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys found some value in this video or enjoyed it at the very least. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. It does help me out a lot. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and ring the notification icon so that you can catch all of my future videos. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks guys again for watching.